Okay, we're not on the toilet today. I had to take care of that during my bench. I knew you were thinking. I knew you were wondering. So this workout program seems a little monotonous. Okay? But frankly, for the back, there's pretty much everything for the back other than chin-ups is shit. Bent over rows suck. I used to do those. Just a waste of time. I used to do chin-ups twice a week and bent over rows twice a week. And it's better just to do chin-ups 3 days a week. And then people talk about like mid-back and whatever. Well, let's say whatever isn't loaded that much during chin-ups, it will be loaded when you do your deadlifts or your remaining deadlifts. This is 5/20/22. What else is there to say? Yeah, don't make the mistake of taking like 3 steps back, because at the end of the set, although this weight's not too hard, you don't want to have to you don't want to have to take those steps back in when you're tired.
Hi there. Hey, my name's Buck. You know what's cool? A nice cup of hot coffee in the morning. You know, caffeine has lots of benefits for the brain. It improves cognitive function, and coffee itself has a phytochemical that improves the liver function. Okay? But you know what's not cool? Drugs and alcohol. All right? See, the coffee's called nectar of the gods. Well, drugs and alcohol are nectar of the silly billies. Okay? Joe, what are your thoughts on drugs and alcohol?
I don't do them.
You don't do them? Yeah, right. This kid smokes so much weed, you wouldn't even believe it. They don't call him Smokey McPot for no reason. Oh, boy. Anyways, you know, this is the only person I could get to hold the camera because I don't have any friends. But I don't, you don't need friends when you're this fucking huge. Okay. I got my muscle children. Okay. And let's take a look at this. All right. You see that? It was one of these. What happened was there was one of these odd occasions that I didn't know the answer to something. So yeah, as you do, shrug, blew a hole right in my shirt. It's true, that happened. You were there for that, right, Chad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was one hell of a set. Maybe well, I don't want to do a pump check. I don't want to drop my pants. It's kind of, you see these guys and they drop down, they show off their draws and whatever. They're basically naked, or you actually get naked and then you put a black box over your brush hole when you take it on Instagram, and, or you give us a wedgie. They take a picture and they give themselves a freaking wedgie, okay, to show off their glute striations. Man, that's cool. Man, that's so cool. So if you're under the impression that bodybuilding isn't bodybuilding would probably be revered back in ancient Rome, and I used to think centurions and all that stuff was kind of cool, but then my brother told me that lots of those guys were silly billies, and I need to find another word, but I don't want YouTube to delete my channel. because eventually I want to get demonetized. But anyways, ancient Rome, a bunch of these guys. Okay, they're merry men. Okay, that's not cool. Okay. Whew. So, oh yeah, we were on bodybuilding. So bodybuilding, there's this ancient myth, or it's like Greek mythology, and there's a guy who goes down to the river, and I don't know what he does exactly. I think he gets down on his hands, his knees. That's pretty silly, Billy. And then he's looking into the water, and he sees his reflection, and becomes obsessed with it, and that's all he does is just look at himself. Right? Anyways, that's bodybuilding for you.
All right, guys. So let me introduce you to my two girlfriends here. Oh yeah, Sea Farm Fresh. So what they do, I don't know if you know this. You probably don't. You're probably a city slicker. So they just open up one of these and they stick one udder in, and they, there's like 5 or 6 of these underneath the cow, and then the 4 liters right here that comes out of one little teat. Okay, that's how they do it. All right, we got some of this rare stuff. Well, apparently it's not being bought out by everybody. I guess I don't have as much influence as I thought. There's a strike at the warehouse for like one of the warehouses for the grocery store I go to. Apparently I don't know, the shelf stocking unions is really upset right now. Oh, I don't really care. I just don't like public sector unions. Yeah. Imagine demanding more money for doing nothing. So I'm going to show you some of my games, all right? And I didn't sort them because there's so damn many. And because I already had to pull them from a bunch of different spots. So this right here, Ape Escape, this game will drive you insane. So what you do is you I don't know, these monkeys, it's like the title implies, they escaped, and you have to go catch them with a net. And so you play this spiky haired 90s dude. And hopefully you don't lose your mind in the meantime, because the music will drive you insane. This game right here, I hate this game. This was my sister's favorite, but she kind of sucks at video games. She definitely sucks at video games, actually. But she wouldn't agree to that though. But watching her run around in circles, and because this game you breathe fire or you charge with your horns, and watching her run around in circles and miss everything was terrible. All right, I don't know if you guys probably aren't old enough to, anyways, this is a burned disc. So somebody copied this onto, like, the old thing was they rent a game from Blockbuster, and then they burn it onto a CD for you, and then you don't have to pay full price for the game. But I definitely didn't do that. I definitely wouldn't do something like that, because that's piration. I think that's the right word. Pirating copyrighted content. That's really bad. This is the game I was telling you about the other day. So this is one of the baseball furies, and it's one of the gangs, and they are like zombie. They're not actual zombies. They're just makeup. So they're like zombie baseball players. And I'm not sure. I can't remember where their turf is in New York City, but you run into them, and then you gotta whoop some ass. And their leader is a guy, and he's like 8 feet tall, a little bigger than me, and he has 3 baseball bats tied together, and he'll fucking kick your ass. Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you guys are probably too young to remember this freaking game show. All right, another burn game. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? With Regis Philbin. Trivia game. Oh, here we go. Driver 2. It was a 2-disc game. It had to go on 2 discs, even though it was like had the worst fucking graphics on the PS2. And there were so many damn glitches in this game. I remember my car would just fall through the ground. Because what you do is you go like free roam, or I don't know, Sunday drive in Chicago, and then you just, as soon as it starts, you just floor it, and eventually you'll approach a drawbridge, and it'll be like halfway up. It'll be at about 45 degrees, and so it's obviously you're gonna ramp that. And sometimes when you hit the ground, your car would freaking keep on falling into the ether, or into the abyss. Sometimes though it would be okay, and of course you hit the ground, and when it was okay, there was no damage. It's well, that's Seinfeld. That's no game. Here we go. This is my brother's game. Armored Core 5. The only thing good about this game are the ultimate weapons, but there's no way you'd ever land those on anybody because they take way too long to charge up, and it's so easy to dodge them. This is like a mech combat simulator. And anyways, there's a new Armored Core game, and it's a lot more true to the original series. This one had a different. This one was more of an American style, I think. Although it says Bandai Namco. All right. Well, here's a game. PS1 Fighting Force. So this is a beat 'em up, 3D beat 'em up game. And so that guy in the back, that guy was modeled after me. All right. It's perfect lighting. And so these are the 4 playable characters, and you just go around the city. I can't even remember what the plot is, but you just got to go whoop everybody's ass. Or at least whoop their ass harder than they're whooping your ass. Yeah. It's a cool game. This is back in this year of PlayStation 1, there were a lot of games. And there were a lot of good games. There were also a lot of shitty games, but nowadays it's about 98% shitty games. Okay. Oh, Crash Bash. Yeah, some of these are fucking dirty because they've been sitting for a while. Crash Bash. That's like a mini game version of the Crash series, and you got to do. There's like a pinball game in it, and there's 2-man teams. You can do just one man. You can do like free for all, and there's one where you gotta throw crates at one another, and then there's another one where you're riding on top of a polar bear on an ice rink, and you got to knock the people off of the ice rink because you're on like you're on like an iceberg, and there's like 4 different versions of it, and one of them tilts, and there's a walrus that jumps on it, and that makes it tilt even more. Okay, here we go. This is Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, also known as Cutscene, the game. These games have some cool things in them, but the story is fucking ludicrous. And some of the like at the end, you got to fight these Metal Gears. And you have an RPG, and you have like 5,000 rockets, and I don't know where you're putting those. And then you have to fight these giant mechs, and they can hit you with rockets, and you're okay. Extremely overrated series, just like Resident Evil 2. I mean, the games are fun, but especially Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, the voice acting is incredible. This game right here, I was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid for a while. From about 2003 till about 2006, I really liked wrestling, and this game I put in so much time. I remember I smashed a lot of controllers because of this game. I remember I was Kane. I was doing career mode, and I had or season whatever, and I had all my stats maxed out, and I had a championship match against Goldberg. And I remember I chokeslammed him 2 times or so, and he was kind of beating me up too, but he was beating way worse than me. And so I chokeslammed him twice, and then he jackhammered me and pinned me. I was so fucking mad. That controller got freaking pwned. Oh, here we go. Blitz the League. There's Lawrence Taylor. And this game is like it's a football game, obviously, but you can like power bomb people. You can like just beat the hell out of them. And then if you get injured, like let's say the guy breaks his femur, then there's probably some people that think steroids do this. So your guy gets tackled on the field and he breaks his leg. You can he can either be out for the whole game because of that, or if you juice, then he'll be back in 4 plays. See, look at that, like getting clotheslined. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Champions, Return to Arms. This game's cool, except the defense system's retarded because it's like you just put your arms up and then you're invulnerable to melee damage. So I don't really. Other than that, it's kind of cool. But what the last time I was playing this was with my brother, and his guy was useless. He did no damage, and so he was just standing there blocking, and then I would just smash the guy in the back with my swords. Because I think I was playing some sort of lion man, and my guy was a fucking berserker. Okay, Mortal Kombat 9. This is one of the best Mortal Kombat games. This is where they changed the origin or the original story. And so Liu Kang gets killed. I think that's how it happens. And then the Outworld starts joining with Earth Realm, and you gotta beat up Shao Kahn. And this is one of the hardest endgame bosses of all time. But I did beat it. You have to play as Raiden, and I wasn't very good with Raiden, but you got pretty good with him because you probably went against Shao Kahn 200 times before you beat him. I used to play as Smoke. Gran Turismo 6. These games are fucking boring. Holy cow. Red Dead Redemption 2. This game's kind of fun. I don't really like playing as an evil person, though. No, that's kind of fucking lame for lots of you. But that's kind of distasteful for me. What the hell is this? Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? That's a good movie. That's where they go to heaven and hell. Gran Turismo 4. I played that a lot. Okay, we'll go to these N64 games. All right, so WWF Warzone. This is acclaimed because I think the rest of those wrestling games are mostly done by THQ, and they're really cookie cutter, but they're still fun. You have Warzone. This one's really funny because if you start beating up Mankind, he'll squeal like a pig, and there's still voiceovers in it, so you'll hear like Undertaker go, "Rest in peace," and Stone Cold obviously have all his lines, but my Stone Cold impression is even worse than my Undertaker impression. Conker's Bad. This game is probably top 5 on the N64, and it's pretty expensive on eBay if you want to get it. My N64 is kind of messed up because it's dark. So you got to be paying. You have to look. You have to squint if you want to see where the hell you're going, especially on some of the maps in some of these other games. See, here's GoldenEye. This is also top 5 for N64 games. That's a classic. Yeah. Oh, look at this. 3 top 5s in a row. Perfect Dark. I don't have the expansion pack for this one, or the expansion pack for the N64, so I can only play a small portion of the game. This game is like ahead of its time, and it's made by the same people as GoldenEye and Gauntlet Legends. This game's a fucking classic too. It's probably top 10. This is like a role-playing, I don't know, dungeon scroller. And there's 4 different classes. There's the warrior, the sorcerer, the Valkyrie, and the archer. And then there's the alternate versions of them. Like the warrior there's the alternate warrior is a minotaur, and then the alternate sorceress is like a skeleton man, a skeletal mage. And I'm not sure about the other ones. And so this is a classic. There's a lot of cool items in this, like the Thunder Hammer. That's where you get a big ass hammer, like something from Super Smash Bros., and you smash the ground and everything on the. Well, most of the time, everything on the screen's dead. That's a handy thing to keep around. Here's Killer Instinct. This is made by Rare as well. This is a classic fighting game. I'm still partial to Mortal Kombat though. This one has like 500 hit combos, and it's extremely loud. 1996. Okay, so we did that stuff. Okay. All right, here we go. We got some PS2 games. Okay, so we got MVP Baseball 2004. Boring. Vice City. Okay, so in grade 6, I played this game so fucking much, and I was sad when I beat it. Some classic moments. You land your helicopter, and then you can tilt it to the left or to the right and chop people up. They won't even run away from you. They're like, oh, a helicopter's landing in the middle of the street or on the sidewalk. That's cool. And yeah, You know, you can. Oh, I think this is the game that introduced the chainsaw. That was cool. I remember I was playing this one time, and my dad was watching me, and he was asked by my mother to see if the game was too violent to for me to play, and I had the chainsaw, and I was I was running down the street, and I because you could rev it and then the chain would be spinning. And so I just ran right into somebody. And then when they're on the ground, they weren't dead yet. And then I impaled them with it into the guts. And my dad's like, "Did you do that?" I'm like, no, that was the computer. He bought it. This game right here is fucking sweet. And so there's like cool executions. You can like drop a trailer on somebody's head. You can feed a guy to a crocodile in the zoo. It's the Then there's the interrogation techniques, and that's how you get your health back. If you do a successful interrogation, I always do the choking one because I beat the game on the hardest mode, and so you had to interrogate people pretty often to get your health back. And so I would just choke people, and then the other one's punching them in the face, and the other one's smashing their face into the ground, and then I can't remember what the other one is. There's lots of cool weapons in that game, and Bushwhacker, it can take about 50 rockets before he dies. This game I played a lot of because I was really big into football. I remember I brought this over to my friend's house. I think we played it all night. We made our own team. We made all our own custom players, and I think they were all people we knew. And some of them we made were grotesque. You can make people look like their torso's a freaking cardboard box, just a cube. Oh yeah, here's another one I got. It's basically, another EA Sports. It's just a clone of Madden 06. The Getaway. Here's an interesting game. This is an English game, and you have to go save your wife and your son. And you play as this guy for the first half of the game, and in the second half of the game, you play as a cop. And I think it's the guy on the right over here. And this game has more realistic shooting and driving. And in this game, the way you recover health is you just lean on the wall with your arm. And the way you find your way to a destination in the game is because lots of missions you start in cars. It'll just do a turn signal on your car when you need to do a turn. Okay, here we go. We got more PS2 games actually. Hopefully my computer, my thing doesn't die. So I got game saves there. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. This game's pretty fucking sweet. I like how customizable these games are because you can upgrade your weapons. I haven't played this game in probably 15 years. So I don't really remember too much about it. Well, lots of these games, but I haven't played in 15 years. But this is my brother's game, so he'd know better than me. Okay, we got Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. So Assassin's Creed ripped this off pretty hard. I got stuck in this game somewhere and then I couldn't continue. So that's when I lost interest in it. But the platforming and the combat's really cool. All right, we got Jak 3. That's a sweet game. So this is basically like a 3D platforming game with combat. And there's cool weapons in this too. And then they added vehicles. It's like Mad Max with the vehicles that you get. Jak 3 and Jak 2. I can't remember if I ever beat this game, but I beat Jak 3. And this one's really cool as well, except that you're in some like crappy city the whole time. And the only vehicles you have are just really ugly things. It's a shame they discontinued that series. Here's another, I think this is the second game. That one's pretty cool as well. Okay, and then MLB 2006. All right, here we go. We got some Xbox games. Let's see this. Okay, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's a classic. One thing my brother and I used to do for entertainment, this is because we're such like pinheads, we would park our car in between or on the railroad tracks, and like a part of the car would be like on the tracks, so half of it, and then the other half would be on like a post or something, like an immovable post, so that the car would get like squished in between the train and the post, and the car wouldn't explode. It would get thrown way up in the air, and then we'd hit the ground and it would be like a freaking banana. And our goal was to see how badly we could damage the car, how fucked up it could be. And basically we'd stop playing once we couldn't drive the car anymore because it would be too bananaed. This game right here is a classic. What the hell is this? Spam call. This game's a classic. Knights of the Nine. I had my Knights of the Nine armor, and Shivering Isles never got far in that. But I did beat the normal campaign. There's so much. Everybody knows Oblivion. This game right here, Dragon Age Origins. This game was super addicting when it first came out. I remember I was playing this for hours and hours. It's another like role-playing game. You can customize your character. You can customize your whole team, actually, because you get a team of 4. World at War. This is a good Call of Duty game. This is the one I played, and this is the only one I was good at. And I used to use the double-barrel shotgun with stopping power and sleight of hand, so I could reload really fast. And you just sprint around and blast people. I don't know. It's Armored Core 4 is my brother's game. I wasn't really big into these games. The Japanese feel for games to me is kind of weird. The menu is kind of off-putting. The menu music and the ambience. What's this? Okay, so we got Shadows of Mordor. This game's pretty cool, but it gets old fast because it's just it's kind of like if you took Batman Arkham Asylum and then you just put a Lord of the Rings skin on it. All right, what's this? Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I didn't play Black Ops 2. I played Black Ops 1. All right, here we go. Skyrim. This game fucking blows. Oblivion's way better. Metal Gear. This is my brother's game. This game is absurd. At the end, so you're playing as Raiden here, and he's a cyborg now, and he at the end you have to fight this giant mech that's, I don't know, 100 feet high, and you're like Marioing, like, you know, Mario grabs Bowser by the tail and he throws him. This thing, you're doing that with this thing, okay? So the physics are obviously extremely realistic. Heavy Rain. This game is kind of good for the memes. The first time I played it, I thought it was pretty serious, but then I was watching the Rageaholic play it and review it, and it's just really cringe. Gran Turismo 4. Gears of War 3, that's a good one. Although this game, we got it from a local video game dealer that sells used video games, and there's one spot in the campaign that glitches, and you can't get past it. It's when you're fighting some sort of giant locust. This game fucking blows. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Dragon Ball Z, the show, is extremely boring and goofy, but the games are sweet because they're really intense. The fighting games. Budokai 2, this is a good one as well. I don't even know how, like, the story hasn't really been expanded on in, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, and they just kept making games about them, but, you know, they keep on selling. I never even played this game. This is my brother's game. Or maybe I did. It's just like click the button now simulator. Oh, this game's kind of cool. Although I don't like superheroes anymore because they're really lame. Especially, I can't stand those superhero movies, those modern ones. The Avengers, it's sickening. Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 1's a lot better, but this game's still pretty fun. It's just a zombie fight. You're just killing zombies. Survival mode's the best. There's another Arkham. This is like a sequel to Arkham Asylum. I think it's the third game. That one has a different developer, though, I'm pretty sure. Gears 3. Well, here's the original Gears of War. This one's a classic. There's so many glitches in this. It had a really tight feel, though, in the controls. My brother was really good at the glitches, like crab walking and kung fu backflips. And then he could do skydiving. Gears of War 2. This one's probably the best game. Yeah, I was never really too good at those games. Wrath of Cortex. The PlayStation 1 Crash games are a lot better. The best one is Crash Bandicoot Warped, in my opinion. Although I'm pretty sure this one and that one are the other ones I've played, but I've seen footage from the earlier games. This game's a classic. I never beat it though. It's too scary. Driver 3. I can't. Oh yeah, I got stuck on a mission where you got to go spy on, I think Jericho, and then I lost interest in this game. Okay, there's Vice City. Oh, this game also comes with Grand Theft Auto 3 for this pack. I don't know where it is though. All right, here we go. Did we already look at these? Oh yeah, we did. So there's a few of the games. There's more PlayStation. There's more N64. No, is there? I remember there's this Lamborghini racing game for N64. It was extremely boring. My brother would play it every morning though. We had a game called Area 51 or Area 52. That was a shooter for Xbox, the original Xbox. And I don't know where the original. There's still way more Xbox 360 games in this, but I don't know where the hell they are. And we have the original Xbox games too. Like I had Halo. We had a game called Circus Maximus, which is just you're just doing racing plus chariot fighting. And so one guy steers the chariot, and the other guy just it's kind of like Road Rash. The other guy just smashes people. What else is there? There was a cool arcade style game. It's like a mini game type of thing, maybe kind of like Mario Party, and it's called Fusion Frenzy, and that was on the demo, or maybe it was already like embedded in the original Xbox, and that game was really fun. Okay, this is gonna be one hell of a video. Perfect. I made some butter pasta because I was dilly-dallying today. And this is better than nothing. Is there something in my teeth? I was rewatching the video game clip, and it reminds me of this. It reminds me of a story. So, about we were playing a football video game, and so in high school, I went over to this guy's house. We were friends at the time. Turned out to be he's not a very good friend, and there's people that are watching this that know exactly what I'm talking about. So I go over to his house, and he's like, oh, and he's got his. Sometimes I'd go over to his house to hang out with him, and he would just sit and play World of Warcraft the whole time. And like other people would go over to his house, and just to play the Xbox in his basement, and he wouldn't even care. It'd be like you show up, he just plays World of Warcraft upstairs, so you don't even talk to him at all. So you're just in the basement playing Xbox 360 by yourself. And so anyways, I was going against him in football on the Xbox 360, and it was a game I had never played. And so we're playing, and he scores a touchdown, and it's like a big one. It's like a 60-yard rush or a pass. And you know what he does? He's cheering. He's cheering it so loud. And then you know what we got to do? We got to go watch it in instant replay. Okay. And he's screaming during the replay, and then he plays in the slow motion. And he does this like 2 or 3 times. He beat a freaking noob my first time playing. And then I'm just going for broke. I got the ball and it's 4th down, and I decided not to punt. Okay, and if you know, and hopefully you know things about football, so I don't have to explain that. So I think I go for a pass, and I get it's like a 90-yard passing touchdown. Okay, and you know what he does? He gets up and he turns off the Xbox, and he's like, "I thought you knew how to play football." He calls me my name. I thought you knew how to play football. Well, whatever. And it's basically he doesn't want any of these. Okay, it was a figurative. And so even though he's up like 2 or 3 touchdowns, he turns it off. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. And so I go upstairs and I'm putting my shoes on, and his mom's like, "Oh, so you've had enough, eh?" I'm like, oh man, what a guy. I remember he came over to my house and we were playing WoW, and I was playing his hunter, and he was playing my warrior. And I remember I went to bed. I don't know, like 12:30, and I remember I woke up in the morning, and he had just gotten off, and he was laying down to go to sleep on the floor, and it's like 7 a.m. and he has to do hockey in an hour. Well, you can handle that when you're 14. There were some good times though. I remember when the first time I played the Warriors was over at his house, and we played all night. And I remember, I think we beat the game because we were playing the story mode. And there's one mission where you got to run away from the Turnbull ACs. And the Turnbull ACs, I can't remember where their turf is in New York, but they're a bunch of skinheads. Although there is some black guys, so they're all skinheads, and they have like leather or denim vests on and jeans. It takes place in 1979, and you have to run away from them when they're driving their school bus because that's how they get around. They got their school bus, and you have to like smash through wooden fences and then climb over chain link fences, and you're running beside one another towards the camera, like it's a Crash Bandicoot thing, and it's like basically jump duck, or jump smash, and but you can still do all the other moves. And so what we were doing to each other for about 20 minutes was just punching the other guy and making him fall down and get run over by the bus, and we were laughing our asses off. And I was also thinking about, it says superhero movies suck, which most of them do, but there's a few good ones, and I like Blade, and you got to check out Blade. Wesley Snipes, he's like a vampire that can move around during the day, and he's just fucking people up. Blade 1, Blade 2, and Blade 3. Punisher Warzone's pretty good, as long as he's not doing like the reminiscing about his dead family parts, because those drag on. I mean, there's other Punisher movies. Okay, just give people that back. They should have left that out, unless maybe it was just filler. But basically, the Punisher should just be blowing people up and like filling them full of lead. And he does some of that. There's a guy. I'll give you a spoiler. There's these parkour Jamaicans, like Rasta guys, and one guy's he's jumping from building to building, and the Punisher blasts him into the air with a freaking rocket. Sweet. The Punisher. Kevin Nash, the most Russian guy of all time. He's so fucking Russian. Oh, I got another story about video games. So, I was over at my friend's house. Okay, and it's the classic thing where I'm playing a game. Although one time I was on the opposite side of this. So I'm playing the game. It's for the GameCube. It's a wrestling game called WWE Day of Reckoning. Okay, and this is when I was big into football, but I still like wrestling. And there's 3 of us. Okay, and so I make my own custom character. And you know what? You could have your character. You could give them football shoulder pad. That's what my guy had. All right, and you could pick your stats. All right, and so we decided to play the Royal Rumble. And so, for those of you who don't know what the Royal Rumble is it's like last man standing, battle royale. You eliminate people by throwing them over the top rope, and their feet hit the floor on the outside of the ring. And so we're playing the game, and I'm talking about him, like hyping my guy up. He's sweet, he's got his football pads, he's jacked. All right. I get ringed out by like the weakest move in the game, which is like a sissy punch. I don't even think it was aimed at me. So my guy's standing beside the ropes, and somebody just goes like this, just does like a jab, and my guy flies over the top rope. And they were laughing so hard, and they still bring that up today. Not funny. Not funny. Classic moments. There's some more stories. These just pop into my head. And so one time I was at the school gym. We got to talk about working out. This is a workout channel, right? So I was at the school gym, and the equipment they have there was freaking ancient. It was old school Nautilus, okay? And there was the pec deck. Okay, and so the pec deck had levers up here above your head. All right, and you load it up, you pick your weight, and so I picked max weight one time, but I wasn't sitting down in the chair. I decided I was still standing up a little bit, and so I went like oh yeah, check this out. I can max this out. I squeezed my arms in like this, okay, and crushed my fucking head. Now that was pretty fucking cool. I've had so many gym fails over the years. I think no one was recording them. They're still recorded in my head, and I'm still embarrassed. Well, time heals all wounds, right? Hopefully. See, I eat pasta like a Chinese person eats noodles. Well, if I was out to dinner, if it wasn't just my 100% male audience, maybe I'd care more. Nah. I got another wrestling video game story. So there's another game for the original Xbox called Raw 2. Okay, so the PlayStation had SmackDown, GameCube had Day of Reckoning, and well, eventually PlayStation had SmackDown versus Raw, but the Xbox had Raw and Raw 2. And so I had Raw 2, and my brother and I were playing that, and we were playing like season mode, and you could pick which superstar was yours, and then so you'd have to do a match once a week. And then my brother, I think he was the Hurricane, or maybe he was Triple H, but I was winning everything, and I wasn't giving anything to him. So I told him I'd let him win the Royal Rumble. No, I'm pretty sure he was the Hurricane because it was me, and I think it was Kane and Chad, who was the Hurricane, and Triple H left over. All right, and I told him that he can win the Royal Rumble, and you know what I do? I fucking knock him out of the ring, and immediately when I do that, he like four seam like fastballs his controller right into the TV screen, and it explodes. Classic. There was another time we were playing a Gears of War, and it was a one-on-one on canals. I was going against my brother, and I killed him, and he frisbeed the controller and hit me right in the teeth. Fucking kid. I'll talk about workout fails. Actually, my one friend, him and I were doing the Smolov Junior Squat program, and we did the first phase, and took a week off, and then went to the gym to test our new PR for the second part of the phase. And I did, I think, 505. This is a long time ago. I did 505, and he did 265. And what he would do, I still count it because it's like classic. And so if he did this a few times, where he would do the squat, he'd go all the way down, and then he'd get stuck like halfway back up, and then he'd take one hand off the bar and put it down on his knee, and then push himself up the rest of the way. When I was younger, I used to scream when I do my squats, heavy squats. I used to scream like a maniac at the gym. It was a little much. Surprised I didn't get banned. Well, if I went back now, with all the creatine, I'd definitely get fucking banned. My brother, during the pandemic, they make you wear a mask in between your sets, or in between if you're moving between equipment or going to the water fountain. And my brother was resting after doing 315 for 20 reps. The manager came over and told him to put his mask on. He just said, "Fuck off," and she fucked off and didn't do anything. Fucking old bag. That's one of those really cool, really happy career women. They're so happy. They definitely don't have like a wine drinking problem. That's every guy's like dream. It's like, oh man, I want a woman that's pushing 40. That's that's got a body count close to between 50 and 100, and She has about 7 eggs left. That's my dream, girl. Don't start thinking about having kids until you're 37. That's a really good idea. Make sure to spend the best years of your life sleeping around and partying. That'll make you really happy in the second part of your life. I'll be a fuck up too, but I was born a male. So I was lucky.